Hey, it's 12:02. According to my time, I think we ought to get started. What do you all think? Okay, I'm going to do the snowflake tutorial thing that Pastor Bob did a while back and had a recording of it. So first thing I'm going to do is import the grid. I picked the one from Pastor Bob. It's a good one. So now I'm going to expand this grid so it's like a 8 by 8 squares. Now I've changed to a new layer so that I can draw on top of this grid. I did a vector tool line with no fill, and I'm just going to make a line, kind of the outline, and then I'll fill it in later. Now I'm going to make cutouts like you were cutting out a paper snowflake. Going to choose the erase on the vector tool. And I probably should have this on mirror, so I'm going to switch to mirror. I'm just kind of making a design here. Anything you want to do is cool. Oh, this kind of looks Halloween-y looking, like a ghost. Okay, now I'm going to transform this down to half of the page, and then I'll duplicate it down. I moved a blank layer below my existing layer, and then I copied my design down to it. So did everybody see? I went to the second layer, I hit transform, and then I could pinch and turn it and position it on the grid where I wanted it. Now I'm going to merge these two layers together, and then I'll do the same thing, create a couple of new layers below it, and then copy this back down to it. So if you saw, I copied down twice, so now I've got 3 of these on top of each other, and I'll be able to transform each one and pinch and move them so to make the snowflake. Okay, now my snowflake is all one layer, so now I'm going to transform it down and make it smaller on my palette. Now I have one snowflake. I'm going to make another layer of this snowflake, and I'm going to color it a different color, probably black. I just hid the top layer, so now I can work with the bottom layer without seeing the top layer. I just erased my whole snowflake. Duh. Alright, I've done this wrong a couple times now. You want to have the on set so that it will only color the previous colors that you've already put down. Teresa, I'm using vector tool. So when you tap on the vector tool setting, then you've got over, on, and erase. So if you choose on, that's your on setting. Leslie, the whole idea of this is just to get familiar with the tools and to know that there's a lot of things that can be done with Sketch Club. There's the layers and the different modes. So it's not really what I'm doing, what I'm making, but what you can do with it. I will redo the snowflake and make it black again. Okay, my snowflake is gray right now. I'm going to use the vector tool, change the color to black, and use the on mode and color it black. And the next thing I'm going to do is blur this. So there's a filter under the layers. So if you select the layer that you're working with and then tap filter, I can choose blur from the options. And when I was in the blur setting, I increased the blur a little bit. Now I'm going to go back to my first snowflake layer and unhide it. So it's going to be right on top of this black. So you hide a layer by tapping the little eye next to the layer to hide it or unhide it. Now that's kind of cool. You got the little blurred background behind my snowflake. And I'm going to make this pop out a little more by moving you can move either the top layer or the bottom layer around a little bit. You can delete a layer. I'll show you how to do that, Teresa. If you highlight the layer that you want to delete, then all you do is hit clear on the menu and that deletes it. Okay, so I went back to my first layer and then hit transform and just moved it a little bit to kind of make it pop out. Okay, now we can do a background, or let's color the top snowflake a little bit. I'm going to choose a color from my palette. So any suggestions? What color do you want this snowflake to be? I want to mess around with some different brushes to see what kind of effect I can get. Oh, and I definitely want to use the on filter or the on mode so that I don't draw all over my palette. Oh, and I still have my mirror on. I think I'm going to turn that off. Can you see that I'm working with the top layer? Okay, that's all I'm going to do for the snowflake. I think I'll make a background now. So I need to move a blank layer to the bottom of the list. So that's going to be on the background. Did you notice that I hid my grid? Oh, and there's lots of cool backgrounds that you can choose from. So I'm going to go check those out and see what we have. I hid the grid by tapping the eye next to the grid in the layers. Because I'm using a custom palette, and I imported that, or I loaded that background, I had to transform and make it bigger to fit my palette. Now, even though this is a nice cloudy background, I think I want it to be darker. So I can do that in filters also. I use the exposure tool in the filters and then changed it. And now there's lots of cool brushes. I found one that is a snowflake brush. So I'm going to tap a few snowflakes on here with that little brush. I just went into all the brushes to show you that you can add tons of brushes. I just wanted to show you that they were there. I'd already downloaded this snowflake brush though. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, everybody. Now what do you want me to do? Okay, so there is a vector gradient tool. Let me show you what it does. I'm just going to hide this layer and start on a new layer. Okay, I just made a simple shape with the vector tool with the gradient turned on, and you can see what it does. Now this is how you clear a layer. Kind of a cool effect. Just gotta play with it and mess with it. It looks like gradient is only for the vector tool. Is it for any other tools that anybody knows of? Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing we did with the other snowflake, but just kind of a quickie. Kind of messed with the opacity setting on that so you could see through it some to see the other layer behind it. Okay, so let's see, where did my little snowflakes go? Well, it looks like I cleared them or drew over them or something, so I'm going to make them again. Okay, then I think that's it. You all are welcome. Thank you all for showing up. We have a few minutes left, I think, if anybody has any questions. I'm getting warm fuzzies. King Master, I'm not sure what you're asking. The effects of brush setting. Raven, no, I'm not a teacher. I'm an IT systems administrator. Okay, I did the reduce the opacity on that, so kind of makes your snowflakes lighter. I'm not sure what you mean by flow. Oh, maybe if I draw something. Yeah, I think I used the horizontal setting on mirror. You see, Kingmaster, these are things that I don't even know about myself, so it's great to have you here to help us learn. Yeah, this is all cool. Thank you again, everyone, for coming, and Black Pond for recording this and for posting it. I really appreciate it, and love you all.